but I want to ask you a question. Do you think Trump writes his own tweets? I know other politicians often have people who write them for him. They say that in their bios, like tweets are not my own. They're written by staff or whatever. What do you think about Trump? Do you think he writes his own tweets?
I mean, this is the question that I was going to ask you later, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I was reading a tweet from Trump today about Ben Sass, and if you don't know who Ben Sass is, he's a senator from Nebraska, and a couple days ago, he went off on a call with his constituents, and he criticized Trump heavily. He's a Republican senator, and I mean, and Trump went crazy with this rant. He's like, Senator Little Ben Sass of great state of Nebraska seems to be heading down the same inglorious path as Senators Little Bob Corker and Jeff the Flake Flake. And they're like, he's like, retire in all caps. And he's like, he's the least effective of our 53 senators. I'm like, Trump, you need all the senators you can get, actually.
Exactly.
But it's obnoxious, these obnoxious rants. Like, you wouldn't think that the president would have control over his own Twitter account, but I mean, there's only one person in the world that can write something as crazy and unhinged as he can write. So I have no idea what his role in his own Twitter account is. What about
Interesting.
you?
I mean, I have to add. Yesterday he also attacked Susan Collins, a Republican senator Maine, who's in a tough reelection fight. And she came out and said that she didn't want to confirm a Supreme Court justice for November 3rd, and Trump kind of attacked her too. It's like it's not worth supporting her. All that I can read the tweet. It says there's a nasty rumor out here that Susan Collins of Maine will not be supporting our great United States Supreme Court nominee. Well, she didn't support healthcare or my opening up of 5,000 square miles of ocean to Maine. So why should this be any different? Not worth the work. I mean, is there any other president who you could in history who could see blatantly attacking members of his own party like that?
Like, what campaign manager would do that also? Like, there's only one person who's emotional enough to do that, and that's Donald Trump. People who are actually using their brains wouldn't hurt his own party like that. And maybe he'll prove us all wrong. Maybe there's like this big red wave, like he's saying, that nobody sees coming, and that we're all just going to be standing there with our hands in our pants in November and looking at a 2016 all over again. Hopefully not, but you gotta question his Twitter use, no matter what the result is. And the role of Twitter has grown in the elections, and it's weird because in theory, social media should prevent like fascism, and because you're able to share ideas freely. But it's the dichotomy of social media, really, where it should prevent authoritarianism, but also you see authoritarianism rising in the United States, and social media has eroded public trust in the media, in the government, and in each other.
Yeah, and I mean, it's crazy because with that freedom to share ideas comes, as you said, kind of like a sharp contrast of authoritarian and fascism. I mean, we all remember January when Trump, after Qasem Soleimani of Iran got assassinated, and Trump was talking about like bombing Iran and bombing other Middle Eastern countries. He used Twitter for that. It's insane how much power he has. Like, one tweet can kind of change everything. If he said, like, I'm going to nuke North Korea now on Twitter, think about the ramifications that would have.
Of Little Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Going back to the nickname. There's even a book titled that I came across, that one tweet can change the world. So it's really like, you're right in speaking to the fact that with great power comes great responsibility in Twitter. And maybe you wouldn't think that 4 years ago, but now you're like, could Donald Trump get us nuked by overzealous fingers?